If you're driving a full-size bus, you face unique situations that drivers of smaller vehicles don't contend with. Bus drivers should follow these suggestions. Make sure you test the emergency door, the buzzers, and lights before starting on your trip. Pick up and drop off passengers in a way that doesn't require them to cross any streets. And transport authorized passengers only. And never transport more than the posted number of passengers. Keep children out of the back row of seats except when the bus is filled. And keep packages, coats, and other objects out of the aisle. And don't load equipment or suitcases on top of the bus in a way that makes the vehicle top-heavy. Never lock the emergency door when passengers are on board. And make sure you make smooth starts and stops. Keep doors closed when the bus is moving, except for crossing railroad tracks. Prohibit standing. Watch for clearances on bridges and overpasses. Because of the fire hazard, fill the fuel tank only when there are no passengers on board. And finally, never leave the bus unattended.
No matter what time of year it is, you may find yourself in inclement weather, and suddenly you have to be extra careful. When your visibility is reduced, for whatever reason, turn on your headlights and clearance lamps. Use your low beams for fog or snow. Increase your following distance. Reduce your speed. If it gets too bad, don't risk it. Pull off and stop. If it rains, you'll be glad you checked your wipers. And remember, highways are most slippery just after rain starts to fall. Water can also build up under your tires and cause hydroplaning. You'll feel your vehicle drift if this happens. If you do, slow down, but avoid sudden braking or turning, which can cause a skid. If you have to brake, don't lock them. Apply them intermittently. If you have anti-lock brakes, follow your vehicle user's manual and maintain a steady pressure on the brake pedal. If you're facing ice or snow, accelerate gently. With a standard transmission, you should release your clutch slowly. If your wheels start spinning, ease up on the accelerator. Shifting to a higher gear may reduce wheel spinning. Use the engine and standard transmission as a brake. Downshifting is often more effective than brake application. If possible, stop in clear or sanded patches to improve your traction when you start out again. Remember, if you have trouble making a stop, other drivers will too. Consider this before letting passengers leave the vehicle or cross the road. Caution and common sense, those are your best guides. Even perfectly maintained vehicles break down, and when they do, it's up to you to handle the situation. First of all, turn on your emergency flashers. Raise the hood and tie a white handkerchief to the antenna. Keep everybody in the vehicle. And place traffic warning signals or flares at the traffic side of the vehicle, one about 10 feet from approaching traffic, one about 100 feet to the rear in the center of the lane you're occupying if you haven't made it to the shoulder, and one about 200 feet back, again in the center of the lane if you're still in a lane. Get back in the vehicle and use your cellular phone to call for help. Stay inside until help arrives. Now let's talk about something nobody wants to talk about: accidents. They happen, and you have to be prepared for them. It could be the most confusing and demanding situation you'll ever face.
And facing it well means setting up emergency procedures before an accident happens and distributing them at organizational meetings and activities. Knowing exactly what to do before an accident means minutes saved, and saved minutes can mean saved lives.
If there is an accident, the first thing you do is make anybody who has been injured as comfortable as possible. For example, cover them with a blanket to keep them warm or speak to them reassuringly, but don't move them. Don't try to administer first aid if you haven't been trained to do so, and don't leave them alone. Next, call for an ambulance and the police. Give your location as clearly as you can. Once help has arrived, get the names and telephone numbers of any witnesses and cooperate fully with police and fire department investigators. You'll be pretty upset yourself, so if an injured person's family has to be notified, call your pastor or another designated person and let them do it.
As soon as it's practical, let your insurance representative know what's happened and give them the names of any witnesses as well. This will help you get the fastest, fairest settlement of medical and property claims. Now here's Gerald Whitburn, the president of Church Mutual Insurance Company.
Many of the 50,000 lives that are lost in traffic accidents each year are the result of poor vehicle maintenance. So I urge you to establish a good maintenance program, one that includes regular brake and tire checks, semi-annual inspection by a qualified mechanic, and frequent spot checks of each vehicle by someone on your staff. The other thing I would urge is that you entrust the lives of your members to your most capable drivers. Check their driving record and their physical condition. Make sure that they're over 21 and have experience driving the vehicle to be used. Activities away from your worship center can be some of the most rewarding and memorable that you offer your members. Keep them safe as well.
Arriving safely. It makes all the preparation, all the checklists, and all the cautious driving worthwhile. If you check your vehicle before every trip, you drive defensively, and if you know how to respond to breakdowns or accidents, it can make your job a whole lot easier. Mine too.